Because these lines are only going to get longer here as the Easter holiday approaches and spring break. This is a point where you're seeing 3, 4, 5 hours at a time in some of our nation's airports.
I want to talk about SAVE, and Mike, I know you have
and I just want to say
questions.
This guy, this Trump, he is tying himself in a triple knot all at once. TSA and the airports, the SAVE Act, and the war, which is just going on and on and on and getting worse and worse and worse and causing Americans to pay $4 for gasoline. And you know what? He keeps tightening the knot around himself. Last night he did it twice when he said don't negotiate unless you do TSA and when he sent the ICE to the airports, which is just going to cause... Can you believe how they did that? They first said, we're going to send them and we'll announce the plan later.
Well,
just like the war.
We've been showing this all morning. Republicans that see this are shuddering, that have to run this fall. This is a nightmare for the Republican Party. It's the last thing they want to see. ICE is extremely unpopular. I mean, they were very popular a year and a half ago. With the majority of Americans, they're very unpopular right now. This is a losing situation. They understand it. The other thing is the SAVE Act, Mike. Let me go to Mike, and Mike will ask you a question. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
And the senator's written about the SAVE Act.
We need to share the potatoes with everybody. But on the SAVE Act, you even have John Fetterman, the Democratic senator from Pennsylvania, who has voted with Republicans an awful lot, saying, hey, guys, saying to his Republicans, friends, hey, guys, everybody wants voter ID. We get it. 75, 80% of people want voter ID. But if you have a voter ID plan that disallows driver's licenses from 45 states because they're trying to make the re-registering before this fall so oppressive that millions and millions and millions of Americans will be wiped from voters' rolls, even John Fetterman saying, that ain't going to work. You want a driver's license, cool, or a government-issued, cool, but this is far too oppressive. This is not about voter ID, Mike.
Let me ask you a question. Could you find your birth certificate?
No, I couldn't.
Could you find your birth certificate today?
And it's required. This is, Trump said it. He said, this is the way I win. He knows he's getting killed
it's
on
to
costs.
Bag an election.
It's to cheat and steal the election in a different way than he did in 2021.
I'd like to ask you a larger question.
But can I say, on this SAVE Act?
Sure.
You can't even use military ID. And here's what happens. Just a minute. I wrote an op-ed.
It's in the New York Times.
Can I show it?
It's a good one, Senator. It's a good one. Of course you can show it.
I hope people will read it.
This is your table,
I haven't seen it here.
How does it look? You want me to find it for you?
Yes,
I didn't run it today.
What? No.
Well, it's on the. They don't run it in the paper till tomorrow, but it's on the website.
I'll pull it up.
So in any case, here's what they do. They demand that every state send DHS. This has nothing to do with voting. Homeland Security. They send them their voter rolls. They have an algorithm set up by Musk and Doge that says who's knocked off the rolls. Okay? Over 20 million people will be knocked off the rolls. And these are 99.9% American citizens because, they say it's to prevent illegal immigrants. There
you go.
They say it's to prevent illegal immigrants from voting, how they put it. Right. Untrue. You know what? How many? The Heritage Foundation, this right-wing place, found, I think, only 62 in the last 10 years with 200 million people.
By the way, what's so ridiculous about this is the Wall Street Journal not only wrote an editorial this past week saying this is a solution for a problem that does not exist.
Yeah.
I remember reading a Wall Street Journal editorial a decade ago, a very conservative outlet, mind you, saying the same thing. Republicans are trying to create a solution for a problem that does not exist. The Wall Street Journal editorial page Republican also warns this may disproportionately hurt Republicans in the new political age that we're living in. Senator Katty Kay has a question for you. She, of course, does know where her original birth certificate is because they keep it in a locked safe at Hotel de Cap.
I know.
Where she has the easiest access to it. Caddy.
Look, I mean, I still don't even have an American passport, so I actually would not be allowed to vote, contrary to what Donald Trump seems to think would happen. But no, I would not be allowed to vote. Senator, you've been talking about the things that the president is doing that are tying himself up in knots, where he's been his own worst enemy, sending ICE to airports, the TSA lines, the war in Iran. And yet, when you look at, and this is something I keep getting asked whenever I'm traveling in Europe, when you look at the Democrats' approval ratings, they're pretty much the same as the president's. How do you account for that? You're the Senate, Democrats' majority leader.
People are upset in general, but I think the people are understanding, as you've seen in almost every by-election that we've had over the last year, that Democrats are fighting for people on costs, the high cost of health care, the high cost of daycare, the high cost of electricity, the high cost of meat when you go to the grocery store. We're doing that. And so we are fighting them, and people get that, and that's why they're preferring us. The bottom line is, I just have to get back to finish what happens here. So this Musk algorithm kicks you off the rolls. They don't tell you till you show up at the polling place half the time. So Barnacle shows up, and they say, Mr. Barnacle, you're no longer on the list. Why? They say, I don't know. Go call the Board of Elections. You can't vote.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's a bag job.
Oh, it is a bad job.
All right.
You put it
So
well.
let's.
So I'm sorry, but I had to show how bad. This is not voter registration when you show up.
No.
This is voter purge. 20 million, 25 million. I don't agree. In fact, the Wall Street Journal. I don't often agree with them. It's going to hurt poor people. It's going to hurt Democrats. It's going to hurt people who have to. They make you register in person. Only 5% of people do. Working people with 2 jobs are going to have.
Well, and the Wall Street Journal's point was that in the new era that we live in, you have a lot of MAGA voters who are who may not have an advanced degree, who by stats look like a lot of Democratic voters used to look. And so
guess what? It doesn't matter if it's Democrat or Republican.
It doesn't.
People shouldn't be kicked off the rolls for no reason and not told about it.
Get people voting. Let me ask you quickly on Iran. You brought it up before. What's the best way out of this? First of all, is it a good thing that we're degrading Iran's military infrastructure?
Well, the bottom line, here's what really burns me about Iran. Any first-term plebe in West Point studying Iran, they would have said the first thing you better do is secure the Strait of Hormuz if you're going to go to war with Iran. And from what I've been told, some of the generals said that to Trump. He said, oh, don't worry, I know they won't block it. Well, of course they did, and now our prices are through the roof, the world economy is in chaos, etc. And so we're now so deep, and Iran sees that they have real leverage here, that it's harder and harder.
All right, so Senator,
here's how we ought to get out.
No, hold on a second. Okay. You got to answer my question first.
Yeah.
Is it a good thing that Iran, and I think you would agree with me, epicenter of terrorism in the world since 1979, is it good that their military infrastructure is being degraded to the degree that it is? Yes or no?
You can't, because it's a premature question. What is going to happen in the next several months?
No, I can ask that question.
Well, you can't separate.
No. I can't. So you have a military side of it. I can show you my chart, but I think I threw it away. You have the military side, you have the political side. I'm simply asking on the military side, is it good, regardless of whether we agree with going in or not, is it good that Iran's military infrastructure has been seriously degraded?
And again, I have to tell you, Joe, first, you can't. What's going to happen 3 months from now? Is it worth it? What's going to happen? Will the world economy collapse? Will something happen even worse? Will the whole energy infrastructure of the world go up in smoke? So you have to, when they do it without planning, they do it without understanding where they're going.
Senator.
Where they're going,
but
I don't think it's fair.
It's a trick question.
No, it's not. It is.
If you do not strategize the consequences of the action, the military action, if you obliterate and do all these things, but you don't actually play it out in your minds and have strategy for the consequences, then it may not be good.
Let me answer the question for everybody in America. The answer, yes. It's good that the terrorist regime, their military has been, and capabilities have been degraded radically. The question, Mike, though, is political. It's the political question.
No.
What is the political impact? What's the impact in the Straits? What's the impact in the region?
Joe, in all due respect, if you ask the American people, if you have the choice of degrading the military structure in Iran, but having gasoline be $6 a gallon,
right,
and our economy falling into a deep recession where millions lose their job, what do you think Americans
Senator, you're not
would
listening
say?
to me. That's the political side
No,
of it.
it's not political.
Okay.
It's a consequence, just like Mika said.
All right, why don't we talk about the Yankees, because you're not following me here.
I am
with all
following
due
you.
respect.
I just don't agree with you.
No, what you don't understand me. There's a big difference. I would say that most Americans would say it's a good thing that it's degraded. Would they agree that we should have gone to war, Mike? I think most Americans, you look at the polls, they don't want this war.
Okay.
They don't want this war, but there is, it's something that I think the Democrats should be, I think it's something, with all due respect, Democrats should be clear about. Iran has tried to kill Americans since 1979.
Okay.
Two things can be true at once. It can be good that Iran's killing machine has been degraded. At the same time, the consequences may outweigh the good that come from that.
Okay,
it's okay
look,
to say that.
I don't disagree with you.
I don't disagree.
You know, the fact that the leader Khamenei is gone, no one regrets that. The fact that Iran has less ability to create military trouble is no one disputes that. But you have to look. I don't think it's political, to be very honest with you. It's the consequences, the military, the geopolitical, the economic consequences.
I'm saying geopolitical.
You got to let me finish.
You just said what I was saying. The geopolitical consequences.
Right. It's not just the economic consequences.
Right.
Again, let me ask the question again. If you ask the American people, and you had the package together, because we don't know how bad it's going to get, but we know it's pretty bad now. I think most of them would have said, no, we shouldn't have gone to war. And by the way,
most of them have said that.
We shouldn't have gone to war.
Right.
And I'll tell you this: if they would have done it right, if they would have voted, if the Republicans would have voted with us on the War Powers Act, all these questions would have been asked ahead of time.
Right.
Instead of Donald Trump's willy-nilly, one day yes, one day no. This is our reason. That is our reason.
Right.
So I don't think the question can be taken in just one slice.
Right.
Yeah. All right. I think we found some common ground.
Maybe we go to break now, since there's a little bit of agreement somewhere that we can play We're the World and go to break.
All right, Senator.
How are the Yankees going to be this year?
Better.
Better.
Chuck Schumer of New York.
We'll see.
Thank you, as always, for coming in.
Great to be here.
It's always fun.